Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Chill Gamers podcast. Today we have myself, Ian, Aaron,
Hey, everybody.
Defaced,
Hello.
Jimmy,
What's up?
and Perlick.
Hey guys.
So today we have a few things to discuss, a few topics to actually revisit, and first and foremost, what I have been most excited about for the past few months at this point, the release of Baldur's Gate 3. But we're going to get into that later.
Well, how about those Series X's?
What about them?
Apparently they're makeshift fireplaces.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's,
the heat that they're putting out.
Yeah, so I guess like somebody from Giant Bomb was doing a review of it, and they they were pulling out the SSD from the back, like their like little NVMe, like PCIe 4, like Seagate drive, and it like burned his hand or something, and the thing is like gets super hot. I'm not really surprised. The app, like the what was it, the Apple Mac Pro like trash can had the same problem, so I was kind of expecting it to run hot. So, but it's just kind of funny. It's like history repeating itself or something.
Well, help me out here, because like the more I hear about that, the more I'm like, it's hard to deny him hurting his hand on the drive, but if it's putting out a lot of heat, that means it's working, right? It means the system inside is doing okay, and it's actually getting all of the heat out. Because the only incident I heard of them burning their hand was on that one case, and I don't know if that's going to be consistent,
I know there's been more than one person that has like mentioned it, so it seems to be more than just an isolated incident. So
that was the expanded storage.
Yeah, so yeah, the little drive apparently gets super hot, and also the console itself gets pretty hot too. But it's like whisper quiet, which is kind of odd. You think it was? I mean, not really odd, I guess, because if it's quiet, the fan's not spinning super fast. We can build up some heat pretty quick.
Right.
Yeah, the thing about the SSD getting hot is they're fanless and small form factor, so it's going to retain a lot of the heat just from the high transfer rate.
Huh. What do you mean by high transfer rate?
Because if you're running games off of a SSD, it's going to be reading and writing a lot, and that means the drive's going to be active and generating a lot of heat.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So just from sheer use.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's a PCIe 4 drive, so like it's going to be doing a lot of computations really fast.
So I had posted a video in our Discord about the breakdown of the PS5, and that thing is a freaking behemoth. But it looks like the cooling system in that thing is half the size of the actual unit itself. What's the cooling like inside of the Xbox, and is it not up to par again? Is this going to cause more red rings of death?
That's actually a pretty good question. I don't know. I think there is. I think they were saying was it a 120 or 240 millimeter fan? I don't remember. It's got a case fan that's directing heat
PS5.
up on the Xbox.
The PS5 has a 120.
It has a 120.
But it's that dual-sided one, so it draws air from both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Xbox, I think it just pulls up air through the bottom with like a 120, and then it pushes it out through the top. But I think my problem with that kind of design, though, like, I mean, obviously heat rises, but like you're spitting air out just straight up. So I don't know if that like causes the air around it to just stay warm. But I guess it wouldn't really matter. Like, I guess it wouldn't really make a difference.
It is going to matter because it's an Xbox console, and where do Xbox consoles go? They go inside of entertainment centers and right in front of the TV. So, like, I'm looking at my entertainment center right now, and it has 4 little holes. And even my router in there, every, I don't know, month or two, I pull my router like closer to the back So like it has all. And my router will be freaking 90 degrees hot when I go to touch it, and that's just because of it's stuck inside there right next to my PS4, and the other stuff is like my Switch and all that other stuff. So it's going to be in a compact area in a lot of households. Also, who plays with these consoles? I mean, yeah, you're going to have adults, but you're also going to have kids operating these things, and they're not going to know nothing about where they put it. It's going to be sitting right next to their TV on their bedroom thing. They're going to have the fans are going to be blocked. There's going to be cat hair in them. There's going to be, these things are not. I don't think that they're designing them correctly to take the beating that they're going to take. It's not a PC.
I have just a couple of things. Just from the form factor of the new Xbox, it definitely looks like it's been designed to be a top shelf appliance. So because it's so tall and not wide, it's kind of got to be on top. So it has a lot of room for that exhaust also. And one other thing is that hot to the touch is within safe operating temp of electronics.
But can
a lot
you
of people
fry
think
an egg on it though?
Right. A lot of people think that if you touch it and it's warm, something's wrong. But really, I mean, if it doesn't burn you, you might want to think, is it off?
Right. So here's the interesting thing. Apparently, when it was plugged in standby mode, the entire thing was getting super hot. So it's doing something in standby mode when
Right.
it's like
That's what
not.
the current Xbox One does, because the shutdown isn't really a shutdown. It's more like a low power state, so that it's always on, which means that I think the hard drive's just off or something. So it's still going to be generating heat.
It's like that stupid fast boot thing in Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's so terrible.
Something that I mean, completely off topic, but we're on the conversation of power states. Is it actually better to like shut these things off when you're done with them, or better to leave them into standby mode, or to let them sleep?
What kind of device? Like a PC or an Xbox?
I'd say let's go console versus PC.
Well, for a PC, you should be restarting it at least twice a week, at minimum.
Yeah, there's like pros and cons to both sides, because I always left my computer on or put it to sleep, because I'm like, the off and on power cycling reduces the lifespan of the drive. But at I don't know, at the same time, there's benefits to both.
I don't think it really matters too much. It's just restarting it at least a couple times a week. It keeps it like running as best as it can. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or like it's clearing all that cache data on through the OS and just kind of making it not run slow. At least that's what I've noticed at work. So
those
are the technical terms.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, stuff I don't know about. Does the Xbox have an equivalent for the cleaning vents that allow you to vacuum out the dust catcher like the PS5 had? Do you know about that?
I don't think anybody's done an actual teardown of it, have they?
I know they did. Well, Xbox had that like computer generated like animation of a teardown, but no, they haven't done what PlayStation's done. And
At
I know
PlayStation,
they made the effort to specifically have that area where you could vacuum out the dust filter.
Oh yeah,
I hope something like that.
PS5 looks super modular. They are definitely like taking repairs into account in the design.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Xbox is just kind of like, well, here's a box for an X.
I mean, just look at the in-depthness of the stand that the PS5 has. They predicted that people are going to not want to have that thing standing up, and it has like a hidden little slot for where the key goes. Everything is just custom, and it just looks so high quality. I made the mistake of watching that whole teardown video with the guy speaking Japanese with no subtitles. So I don't know the specifics of all the stuff, but from what I understand in the comments of YouTube, which is an adventure.
So I kind of want to go back a little bit to the Red Ring of Death question that you had, because I think that's a great point. Because like the 360, it just had really crappy solder on like solder points on the graphics card, and it would overheat and melt the solder and decouple the chip from the motherboard, and That's when you got the whole towel trick and like remelt the solder and blah blah blah. But like, I kind of expected, like I was saying, I kind of expected the Series X to run hot, and that was one reason why I've been a little hesitant to think about getting one. And I'm actually more interested in the Series S a little bit more than the Series X, simply because it looks like it has such better cooling than the Series X. It probably is going to have much better longevity in the long run.
The
than
S is the
Series
old
X.
digital one.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't like their naming scheme whatsoever.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, they did already have that burst of Xbox One X sales
That
when pre-orders went live because they confused the
was
name.
great.
So
That was
sure that won't
great.
be the end of that.
Somebody got fired over that.
Yeah, and a lot of grandmothers and uncles spent a lot of wasted money.
Yeah, somebody's pissed.
Yep. They'll be more pissed Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Or that
Oh, yeah.
story's going to come up again on Christmas.
Oh yeah, it's like the
Guarantee that.
it's like people who buy like consoles on eBay and they get like
Yeah,
pictures of consoles in boxes or rocks or something.
like the 3090.
Yeah,
Or
people still
3080.
do. Yeah.
I think there was something that was going on with the RTX 30 was messing up somewhere in the order queue system. What's about that?
Oh yeah. Well, what do you mean the like ordering one or like what do you mean?
I think he's talking about how certain retailers were like overbooking it basically and giving out too many pre-orders, and they had to walk
Oh
back
yeah, yeah.
on their pre-order queue.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so like this is actually something else I want to talk about, like because yeah, Nvidia just can't keep up with demand apparently, and they're blaming the consumers for wanting to buy them, which I find is hilarious. But I mean, I guess that's a good problem to have. But you have
Yeah.
EVGA is implementing that queue-based ordering system where like you put in an order and then like you have 5 hours to buy the card, and if you don't buy it within that window, you lose your chance. I think that's kind of cool. At least gives you a chance to
So-
actually buy one.
So I'm kind of ignorant to this subject, but like, so you've got like the actual like proprietary cards that Nvidia makes themselves. Like, will supply open up once like EVGA and MSI start making their own cards? Or does it work that way, or how does supply work in terms of those other parties?
Well, I believe what they do is they manufacture their boards off of plans that are provided from Nvidia. So I don't know if they like. I'm sure they have their own manufacturing facilities that they build the cards and get them ready and everything. But like they can put their own designs on it, put their own coolers on it. They don't necessarily have to follow the specifications for like the cooling system and whatnot, but they have to follow the specifications that NVIDIA have laid out for the actual chiplets and the components on the board. So I as far as like supply and demand, I think it's the same situation as NVIDIA, right? There's just so many people that want them. No matter how much they stock them, it's not going to matter.
I wonder what the time frame is from Nvidia releasing the card to the plans going to the different third parties, to where, does supply suddenly quadruple over the course of a couple days or weeks or whatever?
Who knows? That's just only
Something to
MSI
put a
and
pin in for later
Asus.
for sure.
Yeah. Definitely something that Asus and MSI and all them, they would have knowledge on that obviously.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. So many people want them. It's like you'd think people would like wait a little bit and just see what AMD is coming out with, but I mean, I guess you got those diehard Nvidia fanboys. I mean, for good
I did
reason,
that
right?
personally.
Yeah, well,
They've got some diehard scalper fans, man.
yeah, they do.
I can offer up some good news though in the way of stock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you know how for the longest time there's been a bit of a Switch drought?
Oh yeah.
Apparently the Animal Crossing version came out at the end of it came out alongside, the new game. I guess those are flooding like store shelves now, and those are kind of out in abundance. I'm guessing for the holiday because they're going to have another uptick.
Is
But
that
it does seem like if you're willing to get one, you can go out and buy that version.
is that the like the turquoise looking one, or
Yes, it's like teal and turquoise. It's got the Nook kids on the back.
yeah, that one looked really nice. I actually really
yeah.
like that design.
Yep, and people were clamoring for that too because that's going to be rare, but
Man.
apparently not at the moment.
Nintendo makes some good looking consoles, man. Like I have a new 3DS, one of the Galaxy Purple ones. Man, that thing looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I can't believe they never made a Breath of the Wild special edition console. They did it with the Wii U. I cannot believe they didn't do Breath of the Wild.
I have that one. It's great.
Yeah.
Nintendo makes some really good looking consoles, but they make the weirdest looking controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
N64 Squid.
yeah, it's always so strange. Even their most, I'd call the GameCube controller their most normal looking controller was still a little weird.
Okay. GameCube is like my favorite controller ever.
Hey, I love the GameCube. It is such. I loved the GameCube. I remember coming home from like school and just hanging out with my friend. We would play GameCube.
It's a masterpiece.
Don't even get me started.
Pikmin, Medal of Honor. Yeah.
Best version of the game. Best version.
Did you guys see the version of the? You guys know the story about Nintendo and Sony, right? Where they actually co-aligned on a console that was going to, before the PlayStation became the PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
They were going to build. Basically, Sony was going to build the drive, and Nintendo was going to build the rest of the unit. And they couldn't settle things, so then Nintendo went to 3DO. Have you ever seen one of the original ones of the Sony and Nintendo product? Excuse me, was just found and sold on eBay for close to $200,000.
Yeah.
As well as one of the original Nintendo and 3DO prototypes actually sold for like close to $100,000. Like their console design has been just off the wall ever since their origination of Nintendo. It's just something that's Nintendo only.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, and what a counter they came up with.
The 64 Double D N64 add-on that never came out in America.
But Aaron, did you see the leaked website? There's a website, a French store. I don't know exactly. I can't pronounce it. Updated their Nintendo console listings to be pre-orderable, and as well as listing the Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stories about that kind of popping up all over the world. I'm pretty skeptical. From what I've heard, it's gonna release next year, possibly alongside Breath of the Wild 2. I hope that happens. It's still all speculation at this point, from what I can tell. But stuff like that pops up on random news sites, store sites, Amazon, depending on the country.
They've got to make something, right?
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. The main thing I heard is that it would be like you have the Switch Lite that's only portable. You might have a Switch that's only docked, and if you can go 200, 250 and make it more powerful, I'm sold.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be the Switch Heavy?
Yeah, the Switch Thick.
You think they would make just a standalone like traditional console, not like a hybrid?
Yes. Yeah. Well, the Lite isn't a hybrid. The Switch Lite's not a Switch. It doesn't switch. So
yeah,
why not make more powerful? 4K, 1440p. Just don't worry about making it portable. Just give me the power, and then ideally have like a have a cloud save system that makes it easier to transfer between two systems.
But like they haven't focused on graphics power since the GameCube, though.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make a new revision and call it a Switch Pro, what are you
gonna do, right?
Yeah, how much more powerful can you make the portable system without making it $400?
Or blow up in your hands when you try to use it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think they're going to make something. I don't know what it's going to be though. And at that point, it's not really a Switch, right?
Yeah, well, they did have the revision that's got about double the battery life, and they released it really quietly for some reason. I don't know why, but
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, I shouldn't have to go into a store and be like, "Hey, can I look through all 6 of your consoles that you have under the shelf here to check model numbers to see which one has a better battery?" There should be something just straight up either do like what the Xbox did, Nintendo Switch XZY 1440p version, whatever. Advertise it on the box, better battery life, so I know what the hell I'm looking at as a consumer.
Well, I
like,
think
is
they
there
had,
about devaluing their old stock? Is that what they're worried about?
didn't they have that red box? Like they had a different box for it, right?
Yeah,
Had
that's what
different
that
box
is.
art, I think, but not
They
everybody
called it
knew that.
the-
Like,
Well, they called it the red box Switch or something weird like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep, I think the only thing that's different is the original model has white and the new one has red, and other than that, everything's the same.
What about those that piracy group? That's been
Oh, yeah.
for
Funny
the,
thing
for
about
the Switch.
from the story last week. Yeah, there were so there was the group that was sued, that Uber Chips. They sold products from this team executor, and 2 of the founding members of the team have been arrested. Well, one was extradited from the Dominican Republic, and the other one is waiting to be extradited from Canada. I guess Executor has about 12 people in total, and funny enough, the guy's last name, one of the guys that was arrested, his name is Bowser, so that just kind of adds on to the whole story.
Hilarious.
I know. Yeah, and you have Doug Bowser that's running Nintendo of America now. They're just everywhere, man. Yeah,
Bowser
I don't
taking over
know.
the world.
It's just Nintendo's really cracking down on this emulation gig and piracy thing, which actually,
been-
sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they've been really big on like taking out emulation recently, haven't
Yeah.
they?
Yep. And a lot of the stuff I've seen around it too is like how emulation is like the best way to preserve games if you
Mhm.
really want to keep old games going. Putting an emphasis on like backwards compatibility in the new systems. I think Xbox is making huge strides there.
Oh, they're doing great with that.
Yeah,
is it
I wish PlayStation would be better. What, Jimmy?
isn't emulation huge in the speedrunning community?
It can be. It's kind of controversial though because a lot of submitted runs can be easily manipulated with an emulator. So certain games they don't allow it because it can be too easily meddled with, too controversial, too whatever.
I don't know much about it. I just knew there was a way that like they'd play games on certain patches and you had to like download the old like there's no way like you can just like log into the game and get the old patch. You have to actually like mess around to download it or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Depending on the game, a lot of things that are on like the Wii U Virtual Console will be used because the Wii U is more powerful. I don't. Certain games, I think, Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, they're all best played on the N64 just because the original bugs are there, no patches, none of that. You're
Yeah, I
not
know
updating
that
the cartridge online.
sometimes they'll even go as far as using like Japanese games or PAL games or something like that just
Yep.
because of response times and sometimes like the actual localization slows the game down scrolling through text because the text
The
is longer and stuff.
Yeah, the text boxes. That's the biggest thing I see is people will use Japanese versions because text boxes go faster because you're using less characters. And that
Mm.
if you're running a game that takes 2 hours to beat and you can shave 30 seconds off, well, there you go.
30 seconds in speedrunning is that's
Yeah.
huge.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Massive.
it's every second. They care about saving
They care
individual
about
frames of
milliseconds,
those
yeah.
seconds.
I was watching the story of the speed run for Wii Golf Resort,
Mhm.
and apparently it came down to milliseconds, and it's just I love that docu-series. There's a docu-series about Nintendo speed runs on the Wii Resort series.
Are you
I'll
talking
have to,
about summoning salt?
I'm not sure. I'll have to link it to you. I think you'd be interested in it. It's a good watch.
Summoning Salt is an excellent channel. He does these little documentaries on all these different speed runs and their world record histories and everything.
Might be.
Can you speedrun Mario Kart live?
We'll see. We will see. That's gonna, I bet someone's gonna figure out a way that you can, because and this whole game, man, I am so skeptical that it's
When's
gonna
it
be
coming
anywhere
out?
near how they make it look. It comes out October 16th.
So, yeah, Aaron, what's up with this? Because I've been looking at this for a
Dude.
while, and I'm still not entirely certain what's going on here.
I don't know. I am not sold at all. I am so skeptical that this is going to be. First thing that comes to mind, can it run on carpet, or does it have to be hardwood floor? If that's the case, you're going to limit your base right away. It's $100 for one car and like all the course materials and stuff. But based on the technology, I'm not shocked by that. Can you buy the other car a la carte for another $50? How will they market that? How will they sell that?
Okay, let's
I have
back
so
it
many
down even
questions.
further. First off, what is Mario Kart Live?
All right. So it's basically an RC car, remote control car.
Okay.
It's got a camera. It's got a camera on the back, and you scan a QR code on your Switch screen to link the camera to the Switch console, and it broadcasts to it in real time. You play the game to map out your own custom courses, and it comes with custom like checkpoint gates that you put in whatever order you want. Then you paint the course, and it does like a augmented reality on your Switch screen to match the car. Like, looks insane. If this thing is half of what they're advertising, it's going to be crazy. But I just have so many questions surrounding how well it's going to work.
The first thing I think of when I hear something like that is, do you guys remember they might even still be on now. I haven't really been, it's not really my targeted audience anymore, but do you guys remember the old Nerf or Nerf offshoot companies where they advertise the digital paintball or IR shooting where you would have your vest that light up, and they show all these kids running around the arena with their Nerf guns or their Nerf offshoot guns.
The laser tag thing?
Yeah. They're kind of like in-home laser tag things that really worked for maybe the first 10 minutes, and then it was kind of done.
I had one of those.
Oh yeah. They were. I remember them working when I got it out of the box, and not much further.
Yeah, if it wasn't Nintendo, I would be completely against it. I just don't. I am so skeptical.
The one thing that comes to mind, because I watched the trailer when it came out, and the only thing that I keep thinking is like, what are they trying to do here? Like, what's the game plan? Because they had Labo, right, and that did. I don't know how that did. It may have done insanely well. It may have done terrible. I don't know.
I never understood the Labo series.
But like, why though? And there were jokes going around about they were like they found a way to use all those Wii U boxes now. But it's like what's the end game here? Like, is this just Nintendo just trying to be innovative, like they did with the Wii and?
Maybe they like to be different for the sake of it. I mean,
to be fair, if I'm hearing a car itself is selling for $100, I'm thinking it's money.
Oh yeah,
I'm thinking it's a lot of money, because I mean, come on, how many 7-year-old kids are going to run up to their parents asking to play Mario Kart in their own home?
It's true.
Like, this is going to be coming out in October. This is going to be the Christmas gift that like kids are after.
So does this thing like live stream your living room or wherever you're playing to the game? Does it update like in real time? Like, if my wife gets out the shower and goes walking past the car, is it going to show my wife wrapped in a towel on the TV?
Yeah.
And then broadcast that across the internet to whoever else is racing on my game, my map?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're streaming, then yes.
But I mean, am I right in that? Okay, so a cat could chase my cat will You know how many of these things are gonna get ruined by pets?
I mean, it's a possibility. So one of the things
I
was
guarantee.
how well will this run on a carpet? But another idea I had was, does this connect over Wi-Fi? Does it connect over Bluetooth? Because if it connects over Wi-Fi, you're kind of screwed if you want to try to take it outside or anything like that. But if it's over Bluetooth and you can put me in a parking lot or a big wide open area that all the cars can run on, then you might be in business.
You can switch it. Yeah, you can just connect it straight to your Switch, no matter where you go.
Right. But if it's over Wi-Fi, you're kind of screwed. But can I take this out to the driveway? And I'm not limited by coffee tables and chairs and couches. And I can make whatever track I want, for what I'm feeling that day.
I mean, yeah,
I'd be much more interested in that.
that's a cool aspect of it because I really don't like the make your house into a track thing. Like, to be completely honest, like, my living room's a wreck because my daughter just destroyed it. And I mean, sure, that'll create some cool obstacles, but
Right.
do I really want to stream that to the internet for me and you to jump into a game and you just see how messy my living room is?
Oh, I wouldn't stream that.
No.
It just seems like they're throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks at this point. Because they had that. Would they have that that Lego Mario stuff? It was kind of the same thing, but not.
You know
Like,
what? I'd be interested to see what the tech is that they're putting into this car, and then how they can use it in other ways.
Then
Yeah,
you run
no.
into other issues like how many people can play at once, the barrier to entry. If you can have one car per Switch, everybody's got to have a car and a Switch.
I
But if you
mean,
get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you get 4 people on one Switch on one screen.
what's going to happen in like my apartment building? Okay, my neighbors upstairs, they own a Switch. Is their Switch going to like all of a sudden start driving my car around and stuff?
No. Well, no, that's why you have to scan the QR code on the Switch to link the car.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not like old school like RC cars where you could like switch channels and take over the other car and stuff.
No.
You're not broadcasting over radio frequency.
Okay,
It's a
yeah.
Bluetooth specific pairing.
If
Assuming it's a Bluetooth
or
pairing.
Wi-Fi.
It could be a Wi-Fi
Yeah.
pairing, but it is
hope it's
paired
Bluetooth.
to Bluetooth. I feel like Bluetooth would just make more sense.
Yeah, you could probably get less latency than Wi-Fi,
Did they talk about any of that at all yet, or is that just
The commercial, nope, it's been very vague. But so many questions, and we'll just see when it comes out, I guess.
Which is interesting, releasing in a week that it's so vague as is.
releasing in a week?
On the 16th, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Nintendo is going through a ton of crap now lately. I guess they were sued again for the Joy-Con drift problem,
Yeah.
which
Sued by
I've
a
experienced
child.
firsthand twice.
Sued
Well,
by
first
a
time.
child.
Not the
It's
first
by a
time they've been
child.
sued.
Yeah, but it's also the mom spearheading it, and it's a class action lawsuit. So the headline's a little grabby, but
I know, yeah, but
I know
still,
what they're going for. Like, yeah, they're being sued again. It's a class action lawsuit. They're looking for $5 million in damages for the class. So,
Jeez.
but I mean, $5 million to Nintendo, what is that? That's nothing.
yeah, you're right. I mean, that falls along the lines of like for the class action lawsuit. How many people are going to jump on that? What, 10,000 people? So you do the math. It's you're going to get $5 each person.
Well, it's more about Nintendo admitting they knew about it and replacing them, because they did have a very brief program where they replaced some Joy-Cons for
Very
like a
brief.
few months. Yeah, and oftentimes like you got put in the runaround and they would send them back, say that they're fine and they were still broken, and
if
they just don't want to have to say the words.
They're going to defend themselves through the hilt. They're going to just try to make it go away.
Right.
I mean, if you can throw money at it to make the problem go away, then
Yeah, like instead of them trying to go through the courts and say they get awarded the 5 million that they're asking for, Nintendo will say, okay, well, we'll give you 10 million, and we're not going to say shit about it. So we're not going to say anything about the problem anymore. Okay.
But you're not going to keep a class quiet, is the main thing.
I understand that.
So, I mean, and everybody knows about it. That uses a Switch.
Oh, it's
so
a running
if Nintendo
joke.
comes out and admits it, then it's just going to spread and it's going to be bad PR. So I can't blame Nintendo a whole lot for what they're doing. I just think it's shady.
I just think it's a design flaw, You had an issue. You actually have a program that you did run to fix the
Yeah.
design issue. Like, just eat it. Just literally
Yep.
be a good company for a change. Eat it. Own up to it. Fix it in the future, and just do what other companies aren't doing. Like, other companies want to do, you're just falling into the same trap of like EA and Activision and all that. Just eat the damn mistake. You're $1 billion company. It's going to cause you a little bit of losses, but it's going to gain you so much more customer support. Your consumer base is going to love you more if you just admit it. Just own up to it. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm then again, I'm not in their shoes.
Easy there, killer.
Oh no, Sikkim, go.
You can't tell me I'm not wrong.
No,
Oh, no.
you're not. You're not.
I'm afraid to tell you at this point.
Yeah.
So apparently, Genshin's going to be coming out on the Switch too. I think at some point. Have you guys played Genshin? I am all about it.
It's so good.
I know.
See, you were the one who was questioning it to
I
face. You're like, oh,
know,
this is just another waifu weebo nonsense game.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it is.
To be completely fair, it is. I'm not sure if you guys have seen me on the Discord lately. Pretty much the only thing that my PC has been running for the past like
Is Genshin.
15, 20 hours straight is Genshin.
Yep.
That's
Oh,
not me.
It's your waifu.
It's
your wife.
my wife, she absolutely adores it. It was funny. 2 days ago, I had it downloaded and I was going to start it because I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And she came over and asked what I was doing. I'm like, hey, it's this new free game where she's checking it out. You might like it. You're kind of into anime stuff. You like cute girls and all that. And holy shit, I let her hop on, and that's not my game anymore. From what I can see, it looks, for a free game, it looks incredible. It does.
Yeah.
But
it looks really good. It looks pretty well put together. It's pretty simplistic, nice designs. It's
there's one
stuff that you
downfall.
can get without. You can get, from what I can tell, you can get most anything in the game without paying for it, just by playing day after day after day, week after week, as with most free games that have unlock systems.
So during our Among Us session the other night, Crazy, if I'm not mistaken, did mention that it has a really aggressive gotcha system in it. Now, I heard that, and that really turned me off. Plus, I haven't actually had a chance to sit down and play it for more than like 15 minutes without being interrupted by my daughter. So, what is this gotcha system that he's referring to?
So they have these things called, I think it's like wishes or something, and then you can, go to their store, buy like wishes. They're basically loot boxes or whatever. It's the same thing as every other free to play loot box driven economy, right? But here's the thing, like the one thing that I'm kind of thinking about when I'm playing this game is like, I want to play the story, the main campaign, right? Like that's really what I'm focusing on. If at any point in time while playing the game, the gacha system hinders my progress in a way that it turns it into a giant grind fest, then absolutely I'm not going to play it anymore.
Then you're done?
Then I'm done. Because I don't have time to do that. I'm not gonna do. I did that enough with Destiny, right? I mean, Destiny wasn't really that bad, but I mean, it kind of was. But like with Genshin, like I feel like I can play the story at least right now. I mean, it gates you behind your adventure rank at some point, at certain points, but at the same time, it's very generous with the XP that you get for that adventure rank, so you can progress.
Okay, so if I wanted to, like, yeah, again, so I've literally booted up the game, ran the first couple missions, and that's about as much as I got into it. Why, from what I understand, based on what you guys are talking about, you have to play for at least a couple, 3, 4, 5 hours to play co-op at least.
Yes, and honestly, I don't know why. I don't
That
know why they
sounds
were gating any
awkward.
of that. But yeah, and it probably took about 10 hours to get there, generously.
Have you played
which-
co-op with anybody yet?
No, I haven't.
I'm sure we
but,
can test that out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I absolutely plan to. What I will say though is that I hit adventure rank 20 yesterday, and when you hit rank 20, that's when they show you the battle pass, which I guess I knew had to be coming.
What?
So I am starting to see kind of the cracks in the armor as to where, okay, I can see where this monetization is going to start getting me. But I'm not there yet, and I love it so far.
Yeah.
The wishes. So the big thing is, if you really want to max out your characters, they have what's called constellations. To max out their constellations, you need to roll in your wishes multiple copies of a character. So that just adds to the whole hubbub there of the casino aspect and all that. So I'm starting to see where getting more wishes is starting to affect my gameplay like on the horizon. But in the meantime, I'm still doing the dailies, which are a lot of fun, even though they only take 10 minutes. Some of the dungeons are repeatable for different rewards, different days, different ascension materials, which is like ways to power up your character. So I can see where I'm going to have to start farming and grinding, but I'm nowhere near done with the story. So I can at least ride that train.
What does the co-op bring to the table? Like, how many people can play co-op?
Very little. You can do up to 4, but the co-op, there's very little that you can do. Like, you don't benefit both
Just the
people.
dungeons, right?
Yeah, pretty much dungeons. You can do dailies, but that's about it. Because at least as far as what you benefit from, if I join somebody else's session, I don't benefit from helping them with most of what they would do. I benefit from the dailies, and I benefit from killing elites to get materials that way, and the dungeons.
As it stands, it looks like it's a single player game that if you're really bored, you can hop in with a friend and run around and kill stuff.
Right.
But it appears to be pretty much just a single player game. And I know this is winding way back, but as to why Crazy called it a gacha system instead of a loot box system, it refers to gachapon. It's a in Japan they have their boxes. They're called gachapon boxes, and they almost remind me of like the gumball machines where you can roll something and you'll get like a little 2-inch tall plastic figurine.
Oh yeah.
They're those, but they're on a much grander scale where they have entire gachapon stores where it's just vending machine after vending machine where you roll these things, and they have like miniatures that you can build. It's a really advanced, not advanced, but popular thing. A lot of American, not even American necessarily, but international tourists go to Japan, raid gachapon stores, and come back with suitcases full of them and just sell them mass market in the U.S.
Sounds
So-
amazing, to be honest.
So like
It's
what
interesting. It's really cool. But that's where the gacha thing comes from. It's gachapon.
So I think I think the gotcha game has like that particular meaning has a pretty negative connotation to it in terms of like video games. But if you really think about it, like
I kind of, yes. The way I guess the way I worded I followed it based on him, because I mean all my description for the game was, I didn't even play it at that point, was here's this Breath of the Wild copy that you can get sucked into very easily, and then all of a sudden you're just going to want to just dump money into it to continue playing. And it's not even that you want to; it's like you have to progress from that's what I was told.
yeah. So I just kind of what I was saying. So was like if you really think about it, like there are games that are just as bad in the West, right?
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Right. So like Warframe is extremely grindy just to get a single weapon, and even
Fallout
then
76.
Oh yeah,
So-
Warframe's out there. I love me some Warframe.
It's
Probably one
good.
of my favorite games. But Warframe is actually one of the games I have. That's probably my most played game on the PS4.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
aside from like Smite. I refuse to play it on PC because of how much time and money I've put into Warframe to get all of my Warframes, all of my weapons, all of my ranks. It's an incredibly grindy game. It's so worth it because I had a group of friends where we would run 4-player all night for hours and hours and hours, day after day after day. We all put in like 1,000 hours into the game. But
Speaking of games that you love, how about that Baldur's Gate?
Baldur's Gate, man, been looking forward to this for months and months and months. And it's finally out on early access. And yeah, downloaded first day. Bought it, downloaded first day. I was actually walking around my house at like 12:30. I'm like, all right, come on. Come on, 1:00. Come on, 1:00.
You're planning out your theory crafting all your builds in your head. And
I would, except they're missing my favorite class on release. So for anyone who doesn't know, Baldur's Gate is based off of the world of Dungeons and Dragons. This current Baldur's Gate edition is based off of 5th edition D&D. You get to play as an RPG. It's an RPG game made by Larian Studios, the same people who made Divinity Original Sin. It plays very, very close to Divinity. Enough so that I also very much love Divinity. I was able to comfortably hop into Baldur's Gate and didn't have any issue with the controls. Hopped right in and was comfortable.
I must say I
Um,
did too, and I'm very brand new to Divinity myself.
But
So
yeah, no, I hopped right in and they were missing the druid, which sucks. But
Oh,
I
man.
will wait.
you can go
I
the
cannot
Ranger.
wait for them to release druid because I'm curious how they'll do the animal wild shape. That's
Yep.
going to be interesting. I am so ready to jump into a bear or a dire wolf and wreck some face. It's going to be great.
You don't want to go like summoning. Like the Ranger has a summoning subclass that you can summon like a bear and stuff like that. I was looking at that.
So the
Oh, a
ranger,
druid can summon.
all magic nature-based classes can summon.
Okay.
I have a warlock that I'm playing on stream. That is very fun. I can't wait to start getting my invocations and all that stuff at level 3, I believe.
I started a
I've
cleric.
got a wizard. I've got a wizard that's very fun that I'm doing, and I've got like a find familiar spell.
Nice.
They're limiting subclasses as well, so all they have is Abjuration Wizard and Evocation Wizard. All they have for the Warlock was Great Old One and the Fiend, so they didn't have like Hexblade, but Hexblade's going to be a big one if they're putting full Warlock in there. Yeah, they're missing barbarians and druids and sorcerers.
Early
Give me
access.
that artificer.
Artificer, that'd be a fun one, but I
won't be that
don't know
popular.
if they're going from core rulebook. They're missing a few of the main races. I think they're missing Dragonborn.
Yep.
Gnome.
See,
Do they have a variant human or just human?
It was just standard human. They don't have very human. They don't have feats in the game that I've seen. So I wonder if they'll add feats. That would be interesting, and I'm really, really hoping they do, because feats really help you modify your character to how you want them. But it deals with the D20 system, so you can walk into a game or walk into a room. I was unfortunately stuck on one section where I unlocked a tomb and the undead woke up around me, but
So being as it's early access, I had a coworker who also bought it, and he was saying that that like some of the animations were broken and like their arms were like sticking out in front of them crossed and stuff, like just hilarious poses.
there have been more than a few times where I've loaded into a game and the animations for the character don't load. So for the first maybe 5 seconds, I do float around in T-pose. That has happened. But I'm banking it off. It's early access. It is what it is. I'm not going to be upset if there's glitches. There are quite a few. I had to reload my first save because no other character models loaded in. It was just myself and just the environment, so I couldn't progress the story. I had to completely reload my missions.
I had the very first combat encounter in the game, the few imps you play, when you're still on I'm still on the boat in the sky. And one of the imps flew outside of the world. I could see him. I could not attack him. He would fly into me. He would hit me, and then he would fly back outside of the map, I guess. And he just did that until I died. He did that 3 times in a row, and then finally I got it where I could pass him and save. So now I'm there. I was really frustrated because there was nothing I could do against him.
See, the only thing I know about D&D, because I don't really play D&D, like the actual game, like the only thing I know about D&D is those Legends of Dritz novels by R.A. Salvatore.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So that's the only thing that I know about D&D, like the Forgotten Realms, and that's about it. Like,
Well, you'll be glad to know that R.A. Salvatore works for Larian Studios and is working on this game.
what?
Yes.
Shut up.
They hired him.
Oh
He
my
he
god.
was also he also wrote the entire story for Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. If you ever
Oh,
play
did
that
he?
Yeah,
game,
I know. He
yes,
wrote
Love
like
that game.
10,000 years of lore in that. It's nuts.
yeah,
Like
he
he's one of my
is.
favorite authors. Like
He's amazing.
I'm pretty much only familiar with 5e, 5th edition D&D, but yeah, I've been in games. I've up until a few months ago, I was running almost a year-long campaign. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's actually really fun to launch into a world and build a wizard or a warlock, and it's like, hey, I know all these spells, I know what they do, and I can just launch in and build my character based on what I know already. It's really
Yeah,
interesting.
I like it.
It's fun. So, Aaron, I know you actually just got it.
I did.
Have you launched it yet, or are you still?
I'm about 2 hours in. I just
Nice.
had my first encounter with the Intellect Devourers, the
Okay.
group of them after you land on the surface.
So on the crashed mind
Mind.
flayer ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I know where you are. I know what you're talking
Yep.
about.
I've got a dwarf fighter. It's going to
Nice.
be in the intro of the podcast, actually. I've only ever had a paladin and a wizard, so I wanted to go a little more classic
Paladin.
combat.
That's who they were missing too.
Super excited for
Paladins.
paladin. Holy crap.
Oh yeah. Divine
That's going to be
Smite.
awesome.
Divine.
Yep.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but playing through the warlock, just how the spells look. Like
They do look
Eldritch
good.
Blast and the sounds and sight is incredible.
Yep.
So I
That
really
whole
want to
game,
see
dude.
your.
I spent 40 minutes on the character creator just looking at that all the amazing models they had.
Oh yeah, it looks great. It does. It looks
Yeah.
good. I can't wait for full access. I mean, we've got a year. Supposedly, that's their roadmap is a year until full access, but
Yep.
I'm ready for it.
Hopefully they pepper stuff in the whole time. I dig the long and short rest mechanics, that's for sure. I love that campsite.
Mm-hmm. That's
You
nice.
get to upgrade it and everything.
From what I'm understanding, the first thing they're going to look to fix is right now co-op is just straight up broken. It'll work and then it won't, and then it'll work and then it won't, and a lot of streamers are complaining about it royally. So that is the first thing they are looking to fix, and then from there they just want to start adding in stuff. I chose to roll a light-based cleric, and that sacred flame, when it hits, it feels like it chunks.
Wait, light or
Mhm.
life?
Light,
The light cleric, the fire-based cleric.
yes.
Oh god, I love light cleric. It's such a fun class. I had a fire genasi light cleric that I was playing through a while ago. Very fun.
I'm going with a dwarf light cleric.
So just a little ways ahead, you as a light cleric unlock a spell, assuming they go by 5e rules. You as a light cleric unlock a spell at level 5 that no cleric gets. You get fucking fireball and just
Nice.
nuke the room, man.
I've been having a blast with it. I'm excited for us to. Everybody's gonna run through their little solo campaigns, and once they fix co-op, I'm all for just diving in and let's roll the game.
Yeah, it's good. I'm liking it. Can't wait for more releases. So that's definitely one thing I'm playing. I have also been loving Phasmophobia. Holy crap, the ghost hunting game. It is such a simple game, but my god, it's terrifying. Walking into a house and having someone whisper in your ear and slam the door is just horrific. When you are alone and you start getting hunted is terrible. I was playing with a few guys from the server. I was playing with Maze, the Don, and it was either Jarek or Fable. We needed one last clue to deduce our ghost. We were in the school, which is the second big map. I was at the opposite end of the school. We had to be alone. I called for the ghost to speak to me, and I got a sign, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And the other guy's like, oh yeah, I already left. You're alone. Like, what? Okay. So I was creeping through the gymnasium, and a hunt started, so I hid. The hunt passed, and then the front door was in my sight. I was like 30 yards away, and the front door slammed, and the ghost hunted me again, and I had to hide in a
Oh, God.
closet. It's so terrifying. I love it so much, but
Oh
whew.
man.
Phasmophobia, Baldur's Gate. That's what I've been playing lately. What about you, Aaron? What you got?
Call me a nerd, but I've actually been playing through Tales of Vesperia on the Switch again,
Okay.
as is the Tales way, because I love Tales games. That's kind of the main one I've been playing. I did enjoy Phasmophobia. I enjoy Baldur's Gate, but I'm just on a Switch kick, dude. The last few weeks. Actually, for anyone else out there, that's part of one of my kindred Switch spirits. Certain games on sale right now. Animal Crossing's 25% off. Mario Odyssey's 25% off. Link's Awakening remake is $10 off, and so is Luigi's Mansion 3. Wow. And I did check out the Nintendo Treehouse yesterday. They had Pikmin 3 Deluxe. They have some new features. They have they focused heavily on PvP. And they had a new mode that was like completing a bingo card first, like a race, and you have to strategize how you're going to pick what you take care of. Not my cup of tea, but I'm sure it'll make a lot of people happy. My money though is on Hyrule Warriors, the Age of Calamity game. I am incredibly excited for that. I love Hyrule Warriors, so this one looks 10 times better. So I'm really hoping it's going to be good. That comes out November 20th, so right around my birthday. So that'll be a good excuse.
I need to try those out. I love the Dynasty Warriors games.
Yeah, they're great. And Hyrule Warriors is well, the new one coming out is going to be canon, so they're really putting extra effort into the story, which
Oh wow.
is my jam. Also, apparently, Sakurai made a note about improving the net framework on Smash, so hopefully I can get back into that and not have a bad time.
Nice.
Yeah, that's all I've got.
DeFaced, what have you been playing, man? What's your pick of the week?
So, as you all know, I'm a massive Halo fan.
Yep.
And I have. So, one thing they have on the Master Chief Collection that I'm really, really hoping they bring over to the PC is they have campaign playlists. And basically, it puts. The one that I'm going through is basically the Master Chief's story through all 4 games. And that it's really nice because it just goes from it just does all the Master Chief missions start to finish from Halo CE all the way up to Halo 4. And you do all that, you get achievements and whatnot. But I just think it's so cool to be able to like it sounds really, really simple because all you're doing is just picking a new mission, but it goes seamlessly to the next mission. So it's not like you drop back down to a menu, you pick the next mission, click start, do the mission, drop back out to a menu. It goes from one mission to the next to the next to the next, spanning all the games. So I'm really hoping that when they had Halo 4 to PC, they bring those over because there's a lot of other different playlists that you can do, like all the tank missions in all the games. You can do them with co-op, and I don't know. It's just really cool, and they added ODST to PC as well, and ODST is just awesome. So that's really what I've been doing.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
343 playlist.
Sounds like Half-Life meets Halo, the way they play it right in order.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Jimmy, what you got?
As I said last week, I have accepted an offer in Heroes of the Storm for analysis / coaching. So that's been keeping me a little bit busy. It's not as in depth as I thought it was going to be. I'm more like doing a lot of replay reviews and typing up like a document and then submitting my thoughts. So because
what
I just
games are you
can't.
playing this week, though?
But that's been keeping me busy. But I've actually tried to venture out a little bit. Me and Pure Black and Aaron have been playing this game called Darksburg. It's kind of like a ARPG, but like a horde mode with like affixes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
Aaron covered that last week.
yeah, it's pretty fun. We're progressing in the difficulty. Me and Purelac also decided that we were going to go back and look at an old game, an old co-op puzzle game called We Were Here. It's a nice 2 to 3 hour journey, and we had a blast doing it actually. I wouldn't be opposed to looking at. I think the next one's We Were Here Together, and
They have
then
2 more, right?
yeah, there's 2 more.
I do have We Were Here Together if you want to play through that sometime.
Yeah, definitely, anytime.
I think that's the third one. The second one's We Were Here Too. TOO.
Okay. But yeah, that's that, and I did reinstall Diablo 3, and apparently there's a new mode that I haven't even heard of before. It's this challenge mode where it literally gives you a randomly generated character, and everything is max level, max tier, and it's like just here's a time limit, go. So I didn't have to level nothing. I didn't have to power level nothing. I didn't have to farm no gear. I just was handed a barbarian, all gemmed out. Everything's equipped. You can't change the build. You can't change nothing. It is literally just meant to see how fast you can optimize your run. Not about your gear, not about anything else. And it just brought back the glory days of Diablo 3 for me. It was like, I'm going to start doing this like once a day just as a stress reliever. Just bashing on some zombie brain was really good for me. So
Nice.
that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to branch out and reach into other things.
Nice. Perlick, what you got? You been into this week?
I've been having a hard time getting into different things. I've just been going back to the good old Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I don't know. I just like it because it's easy to drop in. You know, you can spend as much or as little time playing it as you want. But what I've been wanting to get into again is Minecraft and Starbound and Terraria. And I'm currently, this whole time, I've been working on setting up those servers for us again. Oh,
Nice.
and Gmod too.
Oh man, I love Gmod. It's so fun.
Nice. Yeah, Starbound looks kind of interesting. I haven't seen that before, but definitely looks interesting.
Yeah, it's the spiritual successor to Terraria, which came out like 10 years ago. I don't even remember.
It's been a while.
It's an old one, that's for sure.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah, 9 years ago. Not quite 10. Wow. Feels like it was longer.
So do we have any goals for anybody for like what we're looking to do over the course of the next week?
Get more people into these games.
Yeah.
I
People
think
can play.
Aaron, I wouldn't mind going through that We Were Here Too with you if you're up for that.
Yeah, I gotta re-download it, but sure.
That could be something I look forward to. Yeah, Ian, you more just more Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, sure.
I may be hopping back into Destiny for the Festival of the Lost this week, but I
Nice.
hear it's a little grindy. But I liked it last year.
All right. Well, I think it's about time to sign off. All right, everybody. This has been the Chill Gamers Podcast. Thanks for stopping by. We're up on Discord as Chill Gamers, YouTube, The Chill Gamer Show, Spotify currently as Chill Gamers, and soon to be iTunes, Stitcher, and other podcasting platforms. Feel free to comment, leave us a like, give us some feedback, let us know what you think. Goodbye, everybody.
See you later.